Victims of the Los Angeles fires victimized again. Hundreds of millions of dollars stolen in fire aid, and worse, are squatters taking over vacant properties in the fire zone? All that and more coming up, and what we're doing to fight back. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and a California state representative. And we are still sorting out all of the devastation from the LA fires. And it's 7 months later. We've seen absolute negligence and incompetence by Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass on the rebuilding efforts. Gavin Newsom, of course, is trying to blame everything on Donald Trump. He promised a full investigation of what went wrong during the fires. And of course, the media has given him a complete pass. Now we are hearing that $100 million raised ostensibly for fire victims has been diverted for political purposes. Of course, only in California can you use the suffering of people who were failed by their government leaders to raise money to benefit those same corrupt, sinister government leaders. You can't make this crap up. Comes in the form of various reports coming out of Los Angeles. Fox 11 and other stations have documented that fire aid money went to California Native Voter Project and other nonprofits that absolutely have nothing to do with providing aid to fire victims. Here is Breitbart kind of covering the story. Money raised by Hollywood for victims of the Los Angeles fires through fire aid went to politically charged nonprofit groups like the California Native Vote Project, which, by the way, is not just for Native Americans. It is a far left-wing extremist organization with bizarre political points of view. For example, they want to remove Christopher Columbus statues around California. Questions are now being raised about the $100 million. I always love these woke Hollywood types that say, we're going to help out victims of the fires. We're going to do a concert. Aren't we just absolutely magnanimous? And no one ever asks where the money goes. Well-intentioned people out there stepped forward and donated with the theory that they were helping people devastated by the fires. But now we're learning the truth 7 months later. The news and media, including ABC affiliate KABC7, reports that the money is being spent by organizations that are nonprofits, but do not have direct ties to fire victims. Quote, none of the money is going directly to fire victims, only the nonprofit groups. Fire victims who have benefited from fire aid funds have only done so indirectly through the organizations. Local news outlets circling the news reports it is clear that some of the groups who have received fire aid funding have only tenuous connections at best to the areas affected by the fires and tangential missions. Tangential means they're political groups. One group, the California Native Vote Project, a political nonprofit that exists to encourage Native Americans to participate in the political process, of course, voting for Democrats. The website reports the cash was intended for financial assistance displaced and effective Native families, expanding healing and mental health services, and supporting the distribution of critical health and safety resources. There were only 16 Native American residents of Pacific Palisades out of nearly 23,000 people. We don't know how many of them were direct impacts in that area. Probably a good number of them. In Altadena, there were 46 out of 43,000 residents. I mean, we're talking about a minuscule percentage. The report goes on to talk about how not only are they trying to defend the Christopher Columbus statues, but they oppose enforcement of immigration law, standing with the, quote, undocumented population against ICE. So we've got this suspicious network of nonprofits that are politically motivated, that are getting this money. We don't know how much money actually went out to fire victims. And no one seems to be kicking the tires. But my good friend Kevin Kiley Congressman Kevin Kiley has issued a letter to the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, asking for a federal investigation into this matter. And I know that my good friend Bill Asaley, the Assistant U.S. Attorney for Los Angeles, is going to be all over this unfolding scandal. This goes on all the time. It's not just private money that's being diverted to political groups, but it's also your taxpayer money going directly to political groups, as we have uncovered at Reform California through our Doge California project. Before I get into the next scandal associated with this, which is the squatters reportedly taking over land of fire victims, homes that have been destroyed, I need to ask your help. If you want to end the insanity of the far left ruining California, we're leading the resistance. Reform California is the website, reformcalifornia.org. And we believe that the most important thing we can do this cycle, besides supporting good candidates for Congress, school board, judgeships, up and down the ballot, but the most important thing we can do is to qualify the California Voter ID Initiative for a vote in 2026 to restore the fairness and integrity of our elections. To do that, we're going to need your help. We need 1 million signatures in order to put the California Voter ID Initiative on the ballot in 2026. Please go to the website, voteridpetition.org, voteridpetition.org, and sign up today. And I will pay the postage to mail you the petition for you to sign and send back so we can get 1 million signatures. That website, voteridpetition.org. You can also get to our Voter ID Initiative campaign page at reformcalifornia.org. While you're there, please consider chipping in a contribution. We have to raise $3 million to qualify this initiative. We're 1/3 of the way there. We've raised $1 million. Thank you to those of you who are participating and supporting. $5 is all it takes. So go to that website, reformcalifornia.org. If you can give more, please do so. All right, let's get back to the fires and the negligence and incompetence that we've seen. So $100 million in fire aid. We don't know where it went. We're hoping to see a federal investigation into that matter. Now we've got even more devastating news, and that comes in the form of Daily Mail reporting about the squatters. Here we got the headline. LA fire victims burned out home is, quote, stolen by squatters who are using a sneaky DMV trick. Basically, the squatters are setting up camps in burned out plots, and they're basically marking their territory. They're bringing in these RVs and simply taking over the vacant land. And one of the properties was allegedly commandeered in Altadena. And Luke Melchior, owner of Melchior Construction Company, claims he and a crew were working at a property in the area, and several residents pled with them for help. Quote, they informed us that some squatters had moved down the street. They were asking us to basically tell the squatters, hey, we're getting ready to demo this property. You got to get off of it. But they wouldn't leave. He says police were called to the property. Well, guess what's going to happen next? Nothing. Quote, but couldn't force the trespasser off the land plot because they had registered their driver's license to the address. Do you understand just how awful California laws are against squatters? That's why in the California State Assembly, I introduced a bill that would allow the rightful owner of property to go to the police and have squatters removed no matter what within 72 hours, as long as the squatter can't show that they have a lease, that they've made payments to the rightful property owner for the property. As long as there's no legitimate contract dispute on the lease going on, that no matter what, if they've been there for X amount of time, if they got a registration, if they got a Christmas card at the location, doesn't matter. They will be removed within 72 hours or they will be arrested. That was my law that I proposed. I modeled it off of Georgia and Florida. But California Democrats stand on the side of the lawless squatters, and they voted down my bill. They killed my bill. They said, oh, we need to help people who don't have homes. Hey, I'm all for helping people who don't have homes. I'm not for criminals stealing other people's property, and I don't think you are either. And I don't think most reasonable Californians are. But California Democrats always side on the criminal side, which means that you're victimized by the criminals and you're also victimized by your government because they have failed to enforce the law and do their part to protect you. So we are seeing this scam, and I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed, but not surprised in the state of California that fire victims are at risk of losing their property. And I've told you it's going to take forever, and it might even be impossible for fire victims to actually rebuild their homes and get back to normal living because California's regulations are so insane. And the longer it drags on, the more of an inviting opportunity it presents for these thug squatters. And we're going to probably see more of this. Look, at Reform California, we are leading the fight to take back our state from the insanity of the far left. If you want to stay in connection and in touch and be tethered to this growing movement, we will send you our voter guide with each election on all the endorsements we make for all the candidate races from judgeship and school board all the way up to Congress. We'll also give you a plain English description of anything on your ballot, including the very deceptively worded ballot measures that politicians try to sneak past voters. The best way for you to join the fight is to go to the website, reformcalifornia.org, scroll down to the bottom, and sign up and be tethered to our growing movement to take back our state from insanity. First name, last name, email, phone, and zip code, and you'll be part of our movement. It's that easy. Until next time, I'm Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California and a California State Representative. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.